Watem here. Welcome back to some Umineko When Seagulls Cry. It has been a while for me. It won't be that long for you. It should only be 2 days. I hope it's only 2 days. But in any case, I have a new headset and microphone, as you might be able to tell. Let me know what you think it sounds like. The audio is different, so I didn't like the sound, and then I compared it with what the previous parts were like when I recorded with the old headset, and it sounded about the same, so I'm really not sure. So yes, definitely want to hear your feedback on that. Without any further ado, let us continue.
全然時間が取れなくて大したものを作れなかったの。本当は抱えきれないくらい大きなのを作るつもりだったのにね。これでいい。このくらいの大きさならいつも一緒にいられるもん。一緒にお出かけできるもん。さくたろう、お姉ちゃんだよ。ふりゅー。本当に可愛らしいぬいぐるみね。この子がマリアお姉ちゃんの一番のお友達のさくたろうなのね。学校には一緒に行けないけど、お家ではいつも一緒にいる一番のお友達なの。さくたろうはね、とっても無垢で可愛らしくて、そしていつもマリアに優しくしてくれるの。マリアに元気がない時には励ましてくれて、マリアが元気な時は一緒にいっぱい遊んでくれるの。だからマリアはもう寂しくなんかない。ママが仕事で忙しくて一人ぼっちでも寂しくないし、学校で誰も遊んでくれなくても全然寂しくないの。ねえ、さくたろう、うりゅう。
So I wonder when this is set. At school, Maria One-chan had lived in the same kind of environment as I did. Compared to the other kids in her class, Maria One-chan's temper was always a little slow. Her sensibilities and ways of viewing things were a little peculiar, and a little too idiosyncratic for her to blend in. Her grades were low as well, and since she was talkative about everything related to the occult, her specialty, she was treated like a weirdo by everyone else in class. If you were touched by Maria One-chan, you would be cursed, stuff like that. Apparently everyone in her class acted like she was disgusting, made fun of her, and avoided her. If a boy bumped into Maria One-chan, he'd start rubbing that part against the other boys as if he'd gotten some scum on him. They'd pick up her stuff like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. It seems the girls thought even speaking to her was unpleasant, so they ignored her all the time, only giggling and sneering at her whenever she made a mistake.
いじめっていつの時代も似たようなものなのね。人間ってほんと進化しないの。滅べばいいのに。マリアはいじめられて悲しいけど、でも仕方ないと思うの。
Interesting.
仕方ない？どうして？だってクラスには一人いじめられっ子がいないといけないってルールなんだもん。
Really?
最低なルールね。それを作ったやつの後頭部をレンガで殴ってやりたいわ。
Yeah, bully them.
もちろん角で。もしもマリアがいなくなったら、きっとマリアの代わりに新しい誰かが新しいいじめられっ子に選ばれる。マリアが我慢することで、マリアはその子をかばってあげられるの。
As she said that, she smiled faintly. Maria One-chan's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her, from the beginning, a witch had resided in that place called school. No, She says that any place where a lot of people will gather will have a witch residing there. The witch tries to steal the students' souls through death by disease or accidents. Apparently, she sometimes also corrupts those souls, leading them down that path of evil. She says that an angel came, not content to let that continue.
天使様はね、魔女をやっつけようとした。
Okay.
でも魔女は強大で、戦いは7日7番に及んだんだけど、それでも決着しなかった。疲れ切った魔女は休戦しようと言ってこう提案したの。
前に聞いたわ。私はこれまでクラスの生徒の半分を病気にしたり怪我をさせたりしてきました。でもその代わりに残りの半分の生徒は病気と怪我から守ってきました。だからもしもクラスの一人を私への生贄にいじめられっ子にしてくれるなら、その他全員の生徒を病気や怪我から守りましょう。だったっけ？
うん。天使様は考えたの。クラスの半分が不幸になることに比べたら、クラスの一人だけが不幸になることの方がずっといい。それに魔女はその強力な力で他全員の生徒の安全を守ってくれるという。
クラスに40人の生徒がいるとして20人の犠牲者が1人に減って19人が助かるというわけね。
What if they're in like a special class or something which only has 4 people in it? Or 2 people? Or 1 person? How would about 1 person be bullied though? Huh.
実に合理的な提案。
I wonder if there's some theme behind this fairy tale. If it's a creation by Maria One-chan, a 9-year-old girl, that'd be pretty impressive.
天使様はその提案を飲むことにした。だから一人の生贄によって19人は救われた。
I guess if 1 person could bully themselves through self-loathing.
だからマリアの役割は大切なの。魔女は19人を守ってる。
私たちが生贄になることによってその19人に感謝された覚えはないけれど。
Well, that'd defeat the point of them bullying you, obviously. Maria One-chan's idea was too compassionate. Both of us are suffering from a very similar type of misfortune. And yet, maybe a small difference in our way of thinking changes how peaceful our hearts are.
それでマリアお姉ちゃんは悲しくないの？
悲しくなんかないよ。だってこれからはサクタロが一緒だもんね。サクタロ。
うりゅう、マリアと一緒なら僕も元気。
ほら、サクタロも元気って言ってるよ。
Maria One-chan hugged the Sakataro stuffed animal, playing both sides of the conversation herself. I don't understand it. And that's exactly why I want to reach Maria One-chan's level. So, I was intensely drawn to her tale and her words. I get the feeling that,
エンジェは一人ぼっちだから辛い？
this kind of section's going to end with someone taking the book, the diary from her and, like, destroying it or something.
辛いわ。でもマリアお姉ちゃんとこうしていられる時間だけは別。一人ぼっちじゃないから。
ならサクタロもお友達になればもっと楽しくなるよ。じゃあ今日からサクタロもエンジェの新しいお友達だよ。ね、サクタロ。
うりゅう、僕エンジェのお友達？うりゅう、エンジェ。
Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maria One-chan expressed Sakataro's emotions. She was controlling him. With a charming way he waved a short hand and cocked his head to the side. made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakataro. Of course, looking at it with cold eyes, it would only appear that Maria One-chan was comforting me when I was grumpy. But soul had definitely been sent into that stuffed animal. The soul of Maria One-chan's love. So I acknowledged the existence of a being called Sakataro inside that stuffed animal.
エンジェもサクタロに挨拶して。ほら、サクタロもご挨拶。
ウリュウエンジェ、怖い人？
Terribly scary. As Sakataro timidly looked at me, he unexpectedly met my gaze and hid behind Maria One-chan's back in surprise. Maria One-chan really is good at playing with stuffed animals.
大丈夫だよ、サクタロ。エンジェは怖くないよ。とっても優しい女の子だよ。
どうも。サク太郎です。ウリュウ。
はじめまして、サク太郎。エンジェよ。新しいお友達になれて嬉しいわ。
I held out my hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakataro's short hand was stuck out towards me, lightly touching my index finger. After all, when a human and a stuffed animal shake hands, their sizes are too different. This greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake.
これでもう、エンジェとサク太郎はお友達だよ。一人よりは二人、二人よりは三人の方がもっと楽しいよ。
ウリュウ。
Maria One-chan had given the name Sakataro to a stuffed animal she was to receive on her birthday, and had warmed and expanded his existence in her heart for a long time. Therefore, even before she met him, his existence was sublimated into a personality. Even at the first moment they met, they were already friends. Of course, that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maria One-chan's eyes. Although I don't think she'd personified and loved anything quite as much as Sakataro. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them just like friends or beloved pets. Maybe Aunt Rosa hadn't let her keep a pet at some point in time, so she felt like treasuring objects instead. And maybe she was so isolated that she'd been forced to find a friend nearby. Because of all that, what happened that day wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Even so, Sakataro... No. Maybe I should call it Sakataro, like Maria One-chan? Huh? There was no doubt that Sakataro was a stuffed animal. No, a friend, whom she loved more than anything, or anyone. Oh, more than her own mother. Oh.
もしもし、ママよ。上機嫌ね。お友達が来てるの？
Yes, Sakataro.
サク太郎と遊んでるの。サク太郎ったらね。
It was already about 9 at night. Rosa had asked because this wasn't a good time to have a friend over, and she'd been just a little surprised. But when she thought about it, Maria didn't have any friends who would come over to play, did she? Even so, to think that she'd have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal. Rosa was very pleased that Maria had liked her birthday present so much.
ごめんね。ママ、どうしても仕事が片付かなくて。来期のラインナップが難航してるの。ようやく少しずつ注目され始めたみたいで、なんとかここで期待に応えられるインパクトを与えたいのよ。
今夜もお泊まり？いいよ。頑張ってママ。
そうありがとうね、マリア。ママのお仕事のことを分かってくれてありがとう。
Rosa was surprised that Maria had accepted so easily that she wouldn't be able to come home from work. To Rosa, having to tell Maria that she'd be coming home later staying overnight was a huge burden. Maria would start crying about how lonely she was on the other end of the phone, and it took a lot of time and effort to calm her down. To think that Maria would accept it in such high spirits. Is this also thanks to Sakataro? Rosa was once again pleased that she'd given her daughter such a good present.
明日のこの時間には帰れるようにするわ。明日は一緒に夕食をとりましょう。マリアは夕食はまだよね。コンビニでお弁当を買ってきて食べてね。お菓子はダメよ。ジュースもダメよ。お釣りと一緒にレシートも入れておくのよ。わかった？
サクタロとお買い物、サクタロとお買い物。
こら、サクタロはダメよ。お留守番させなさい。
From Maria's manner of speech, Rose got the feeling that Maria might have gone shopping with that stuffed animal without her knowing about it. Rose's forehead creased, and after sourly saying that Maria definitely mustn't do that, she hung up.
Oh.
Oh, that's cute. Looking at the bear, pigs, rabbits, mortal jack-o'-lanterns, penguin with a top hat. Ooh, dogs in the corner. More dog, more. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, that looks like a seal. Another bear, another dog. Sweets. Ooh, little cat. So in the corner. Those books look too heavy. Maybe they're like grimoires or something. Maybe they're textbooks. They all have the same kind of binding though.
サクタロとお買い物ダメだってママに言われた。
ウリュウ、マリアとお買い物に行けない。一人でお留守番、寂しい。
なんでママ、サクタロとお買い物行っちゃダメなんて言うんだろう。おー。
ウリュウ、きっと僕がマリアと一緒にいるのを見られると恥ずかしいんだよ。
恥ずかしい？なんで？
ママはよく僕を外に連れて行っちゃいけないって言うし、マリアのことをよくもう何歳になったんだからダメとかそういう言い方をするし。
マリアはサクタロと一緒で全然恥ずかしくないよ。
My worry, meanwhile, is that if she takes it outside, it'll end up getting dirty or lost, or she'll lose it or something.
僕はライオンだけど
Damaged.
ぬいぐるみだし。
ライオンでぬいぐるみだけどマリアのお友達だよ。だから一緒にお出かけしよう。ママがいない時だけ内緒で。ひょっとしてサクタロも恥ずかしい？
僕は恥ずかしくないけど。ウリュウ、ちょっとお外の人が怖い。
そっか。じゃあサクタロが怖くなくて一緒にお出かけできるようにする。マリアに任せて。便利なのがあるの。
Maria started fishing around her messy room. Rosa often told her to clean it up, but Maria apparently didn't like doing it. However, Maria herself knew more or less where everything was, as is usually the case in the messy room. Somewhat. At least that's what people say. So much so that if it were to be cleaned up, she would have trouble finding where anything was.
ほら見てサクタロ。ナップザック。
Maria proudly held it up high. Sakataru looked at the knapsack, which was gaping open, squirming as though saying, "Are you serious?"
ウリュウ、マリア、もしかして。
これなら一緒にお買い物に行けるし、サクタロも怖くないよ。
Get him the backpack, Sakataru. Or knapsack. Maria held Sakataru up and started stuffing him into the knapsack. At first, she tried to stick him in head first, but then he'd be upside down and suffocate. So she pulled him up and tried pushing him in again, feet first.
ウリュウ、きつい、狭い、暗
狭くないし暗くないから怖くないよ。景色もいいよ。
ウリュウ、本当だ。これならマリアと一緒にお買い物に行っても大丈夫？
大丈夫だよ。今日のお夕食は何がいいかな。さあさあ、お出かけしよう、サクタラ。
マリアお姉ちゃん、楽しそう。
とっても楽しい。一人だったら寂しくてつまらないことでも、サクタロが一緒なら何でも楽しい。どんな人間のお友達だって夕方になったらお家へ帰らなきゃならない。でもサクタロは帰らないし、いつまでも一緒にいてくれる。
I mean, on the other hand, tell that to Satoko and Rika.
一緒にテレビも見るし、お布団の中だって一緒だし、雷が怖い夜には手だって握っていてくれる。クローゼットやベッドの下のお化けだって追っ払ってくれるんだよ。サクタロ頼もしい。
ウリュウ、マリアを怖がらせるお化けは僕ライオンだから勇気を出して追い払っちゃうよ。ウリュウ、ガオー。
They were so close that it made me a little envious. I'm supposedly older now than Maria-one-chan was then. But Maria-one-chan really is my one-chan, and I still haven't reached her level. If only I had a friend close by like Sakataro.
マリアもサクタロもエンジェの身近なお友達だよ。いつもマリアたちはエンジェのすぐそばにいる。でもエンジェの魔法が弱いから、こうしてマリアの日記を開かないと知覚できないだけ。
知覚？マリアお姉ちゃんは難しい言葉を知ってるね。
According to her, this world is full of magic and spirits. And they're as natural and nearby as a light breeze.
風って普段は気にもしないし見えもしないけれど、お線香の煙とかがたなびくとそれを見ることができるんじゃない？
そうね。そしてそれは見えなくても普段から私たちの身近にあるものだわ。
そういうこと。マリアもサクタロもいつだってエンジェのすぐ近くで一緒なんだよ。神様や精霊、守護霊も私たちのすぐ身近にいるの。でも意識しないと存在を感じられない。目では見えない風のように。でもそれは確実に私たちの身近にあって、魔力という煙がたなびけば誰にだって見えるものなの。
I thought I'd only be able to meet Maria-one-chan while the starry was open. But from what she says, she's always with me, and I can meet her at any time if I truly desire to.
マリアは自分の日記に日々の記録と一緒に自分の魂のかけらを残しておいたの。だからこの日記にはマリアの魔法の力が宿ってるの。でもそれはとても微弱なもので、エンジェ以外の人には誰も感じ取れない。
私にだけはわかるの？
だってエンジェはマリアと同じで魔女の力を宿しているもの。エンジェだってちゃんとお勉強すればきっと将来立派な魔女になれるんだよ。
魔女？それは楽しいのかしら？
Interesting that they've they've arrived on the island, we've had that whole intro section, but now we've been in the Ange and Maria section for quite a while now.
楽しいよ。そうすれば日記を開かなくてもマリアやサクタロがいつも身近にいるのがわかるようになるよ。そしたら毎日がとっても楽しくなる。そしたらエンジェにマリアは他にもたくさんのお友達を紹介できるよ。 そしたら毎日が忙しくて、とっても賑やかになるよ。
それは楽しいかもしれない。マリアお姉ちゃんが残した魔導書も持ってるわ。今度真面目に読んでみるわね。そしたら私も一人ぼっちじゃなくなるかな。
Maria One-chan and Sakataro said that at the same time, happy that I had developed an interest in the world of witches. With a knapsack on her back and half of Sakataro's face peeking out of it, she triumphantly walked through the shopping district late at night. Well, it was that time of day after all. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering the shutters on their shops, or an employee rushing or staggering on their way home. Amidst all that, Maria, who was in a good mood and like someone on a hike, probably looked quite merry. Every once in a while, passing employees would glance at her back with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at the cute stuffed animal poking its head out of a knapsack. The supermarket had been closed for a while by this time. However, convenience stores, which had been growing in popularity lately, stayed open until midnight. It was very convenient for Maria, whose mother's return was often late. Maria lowered a knapsack from her back, and carrying it like a child in her arms, she headed over to the sweet buns corner. She pointed to a sweet bun she had eaten before, explaining to Sakataro that this one was delicious, and that one was pretty good too. Sakataro seemed to be enjoying it a lot.
マリアは3色パンにする。これ一つでね、あんことクリームといちごジャムが食べられるの。でもたまにウグイスあんだったり白あんだったりするの。あんこは1種類でいい。
うりゅー、いろいろ入ってて面白そう。うりゅー。
あとはマリアはフルーツヨーグルトにする。フルーツ入ってるけどお菓子じゃないよね。うん、きっとママも大丈夫。サクタルもどれか欲しい？
うりゅう？いいの？
Probably not.
お金は大丈夫？
うん、全然平気。ほら、聖徳太子なの。だからサクタロにも好きなものを買ってあげられるよ。一緒に食べよう。サクタロもヨーグルト食べる？
And Maria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt. Sakataro bent his head slightly, worried.
うりゅう。でも、僕、大きいのは食べられないから小さいのでいい。
おお、じゃあ、この小さいお菓子ヨーグルトは30円だね。安い。
うりゅう。僕はそれでいい。マリアと一緒にヨーグルト。
サクタルと一緒にヨーグルト。
Maria put the 3 coloured bread and the 2 yogurts into a shopping basket and brought them to the register. The man running the register had been in charge of a tobacco shop that had been here until last year.
お嬢ちゃん、この時間によく見かけるね。偉いけど、今度からこの時間のお買い物にはお母さんと一緒においでね。
ママがいいって言ったから大丈夫。ママはいつもお仕事で帰りが遅いけど、マリアたちは寂しくなんかないの。ね、サクタロウ？うりゅう。
そっか、そりゃ大変だね。ほ
Hmm.
ら、ジュースを1本おまけしてあげるよ。
The man working at the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register and packed it into a bag with everything else.
おじさん、ありがとう。よかったね、サクタロウ。うりゅう。
Since she'd been told not to buy soda, she couldn't take it back home. So she decided to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can back home. With the vinyl bag with a sweet bun in it around her elbow, holding the knapsack with Sakataro in it with that same arm and drinking her soda, the two of them walked home.
柚子胡椒ソーダって微妙。サクタロも飲んでみる？
おりゅおりゅおりゅおりゅおりゅおりゅおりゅわあおりゅマリアひどいまじゅい
だよね。
Did she just pour soda over for her toy? Of course, it's not like she could actually make a stuffed animal drink soda. She just put the can to Sakataro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. But it was fun for Maria to share the taste of a sweet drink that she had gotten for free with Sakataro. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, that moon had been clouded by tears when she'd been unmanageable during Rose's overnight stays, and when she'd been scolded by her mother. But this moon was very warm, and it seemed to watch over the two of them as they enjoyed their trip home by themselves. Maria and Sakataro. Anja watched the two of them go from behind. This feels like the end of this section. She looked so warm from behind. After looking at the backs of Maria One-chan and Sakataro together, it became very hard to remember all those long nights when she'd cried because her mother hadn't come home. I couldn't say it to Maria One-chan, but if I'd been in the same position, I may have given a stuffed animal the name Sakataro, but it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a relationship that only distracts you from your loneliness, but Maria One-chan was different. Sakataro wasn't a stuffed animal or a toy. He was a real friend, and far from just distracting Maria from her loneliness, he changed the nights without her mother into a fun time where they could play all by themselves. Was it because Sakataro was a special stuffed animal? Because her mother had made it herself? Because it was very, very cute? Probably not. If there's a secret here, it doesn't lie within Sakataro. I think it probably lies within Maria One-chan.
これがマリアお姉ちゃんの言う魔法の力なの。
And on that note, I'll be ending it here for today. I'll probably go edit this episode before I actually try to record anything else, see how it turns out. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, especially if you've got any suggestions for voice. I think I had been thinking of maybe dropping some of the bass from what I heard initially, but let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and so yeah, until next time, see ya.